Welcome back to Nerd Shit in the Dark, the shittiest podcast on the internet. I am your host, Chase Chaz Skripek, and today, for a second time on the podcast, we are bringing on Ernie, the Ern, Huff. How's it going, Ern?
Good. I had my last banana yesterday, or else I'd have it now.
Fuck, I was gonna have a banana on me. So we have banana yogurt in the fridge and bananas out there, and I was going to bring them, and then I forgot. Chicken nuggets instead.
Damn.
But as I said, when I think I said it to you, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it to you as we were watching these movies, that it's sort of a little racist to think that if monkeys were like a race of people and we were like, they eat bananas, that would be like the racist stigma to them, when really, because monkeys eat everything, but we've given them bananas. But it doesn't matter because they're not, registered voters, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
but if they were,
the movie's also called The Only White Monkey Winter.
That is true. That's
so pretty true. And they killed him off.
Quick. Yeah. Jumping ahead though. Ooh. We watched all 4 of these things. Did you end up getting a chance to watch 4 this week?
I watched the first half hour of it, and I did a little research online, so I'm not
You've
completely
seen it. You remember it.
I have seen
it. Yeah. Honestly, it hit a point for me that I was like, yes, I remember when I came down and this is where I started. And honestly, the rest of the movie, I was just like, oh yeah, I remember this. I watched it anyways. But yeah, so to give everybody a little heads up right here at the start, Ernie and I watched all 4 Planet of the new rebooted Planet of the Apes movies, and we are going to just spend the entire episode here tonight, movie by movie, and maybe jumping in between back and forth these movies and our thoughts about them. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
How much digging did you do? How much safariing did you do?
I maybe about 15 minutes on ChatGPT, just getting a sense for directors, future films, and just like the vibe and feel of all of them, and how, like, so the original 3, what would be Rise, Dawn, and War. Dawn and War are Matt Reeves directed. Rise,
I did notice that.
Rise was like Kevin something, I'm not sure his last name. And Kingdom was this guy named Wes Ball.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I saw Matt Reeves. I remember seeing Matt Reeves' names on 2 and 3, but I didn't pay attention. Kingdom fucking ended, and before the credits even showed up, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm finally done. I watched all 4 of these movies. It's over. I don't know that Matt guy though. Like Matt Reeves, of course I know him, but
I don't. Are there any main films that he directed?
Did you see the new Batman movie that came out a couple years ago
with Robert Pattinson?
Yes,
I did see that one.
That's probably one modern big one that he's done. He's done other movies too, but like that's something he's had his hands on.
That was great. I liked that movie a lot.
It's really fucking good. That's what I mean. So like, see, when I saw his name pop up, I was like, oh shit, I think I knew, because me, I'm like, even if I didn't see these movies, I'm in the ballpark of like what's going on with them, and I forgot that he made both 2 and 3. Like when 2 ended, I was like, I wonder who they got for 3, and then 3 ended and it was him, and I was like, okay, I can see his spark. But you can definitely see in Rise and in Kingdom how like different those guys' like takes on this are entirely. You know what I mean? They just feel like 2 very different movies in this series.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not like a huge movie guy, right? So I don't watch enough movies to really know directors or be able to predict plots or things like that, right? So for me,
what we call in the business a normie.
Right. A normie. You're casual movie watcher, right?
Yeah.
Half my time is I'm falling asleep during movies anyway, which is a separate issue, right? So even if I watch a movie, there's a good chance I might not make it through the whole thing to begin with, right?
Unlike these movies, Ernie.
Well, when you're watching a movie like Dawn and you're starting it at 10:30,
I think it was a little after 9.
was it? Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
it
for
was. I mean,
90,
it felt late.
I'm usually in bed by like between 9:30 and 10. So
Yeah,
watching a movie like Rise and starting at that late, like
or Dawn. Yeah, yeah,
Dawn,
yeah, yeah,
Dawn, yeah. Oh.
yeah. I agree. I agree.
So I guess I was interested in doing this. I reached out to watch these movies because I had first
Mm-hmm.
seen Rise
Mm-hmm.
with Nas, who was previous on this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Years ago. And I thought it was great. Loved
Oh,
it.
years ago. Wow, I didn't know this is how long it's been like a thing for
Right.
you.
Been a couple years, right? And it's my brand of humor, right? Like monkeys growling, throwing, shooting shit, freaking
Yeah.
out. Like I dig that sort of thing, right? Just gets me going, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. So me and Nos watched this down at his place. Thought it was great. And I was like, you know what? I know there's these other movies. And we had watched Kingdom recently, you and I, about what, last spring or so, last fall
Yeah,
maybe, whenever it was.
like March. I think it was around March.
And like
Yeah.
the intention of watching Kingdom at that time, I thought it was the sequel to Rise,
Oh, right. You did tell me that. Yeah,
but it wasn't. And then you pulled
it
up and
was
said,
not.
no, there's a whole series. So what better time than the present to
Yeah.
say, let's watch them all.
Yeah, dude. Not only did Ernie hit me up with like plans to hang out, he had a plan for our plan to hang out. And I was like, I've been wanting to see the other movies for a long time, like since they came out and I heard they were good. There's a lot of movies though that just come and go in my life and I was just like, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. And I, you know what's funny? And like I said, we'll go through it movie by movie, but this is the first excuse me, the first like main point I want to make about the first movie because I rewatched it too. Because when Ernie and I watched it, we have both seen it already, so we just kind of caught up through it and didn't pay attention to much of the movie. But I rewatched it and focused on it, and man, yeah, it's a really enjoyable movie. It's like it depends on what you're into. Like if you're into the darker stuff, I personally thought Dawn was like a really interesting film, but Rise is just a good time. And it hits you. It's got emotions, it's got Easter eggs, it has the ability, dude. I've only ever seen in a long time ago the first Planet of the Apes movie and then like the Mark Wahlberg reboots, and that was like my history. Like I know it, but I don't know like everything about it and follow the series. I find Rise to just be the perfect reboot prequel. Like it's so good. It's such a good like, hey, you know the Planet of the Apes? You want to see how that started? And it could just like the other movies could just not exist and that would still be like, yeah, that's a great movie that leads into those movies from the 60s. So it just I don't know, it's the most like standalone I think of the whole four. Like the other three require only the reading of the first one. You could not see the second, which you basically said when we started the third, or you could just skip 2 and 3 entirely and watch 4 and just be like, I assume from what I saw in that one, what's going on here? Like monkeys somehow became the only things left. And I think that says a lot for this movie to be like, I don't know if it's my favorite one, but it's probably the most like important one.
Yeah,
So
I totally agree. Like
yeah.
when I watched Kingdom, I felt like I knew what was going on, having only watched Rise
Yeah, that's
years
fair.
prior.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
And I think what makes
same.
Rise good too is that it has a very like very linear storyline, right? You see the whole progression of it, and
Mm-hmm.
it has strong human actors, right? It's people you know, James Franco, Malfoy, right? Has
Yep.
good human interaction, right? Has good pace to it, you know?
Yeah.
And that was what got me enthusiastic about continuing to watch it. I saw Rise and I saw
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom as these bookends. I'm like, yeah, like I'm just gonna get more out of this if I watch the next two. And I
Mm-hmm.
was I was very underwhelmed and let down by the Matt Reeves films, right? I agree with what you're saying. Like you could definitely just skip the second one entirely in my eyes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You could just read like a couple sentences and get the gist of that film, right?
you can.
Three, three, I mean it had I'm not good with actors' names, Woody Harrelson, that's his
Mm-hmm.
name, right?
Mm,
That was decent. Like just the kernel element of it, and just seeing Caesar's kind of vengeance quest. That one kept me more engaged. I really wasn't
mm-hmm.
bought into the whole like I don't know inter-ape strife, the Kobo Caesar conflict and rise. I just didn't buy into that. It was just too slow for me. So I guess
Yeah,
my overall impression of the entire series, I liked half of it, but the Matt
yeah.
Reeves portions of it, like
You'd
I
say you
just
didn't like
wasn't.
those ones at all.
I liked three, or I liked War more than Rise, or more than Dawn.
Dawn. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I got that vibe watching it with you, so I kind of figured. I still really liked both of them, but like I said, they could not exist, and you don't really need their story. It's just more of the character Caesar. There is a story there, and like we're gonna get into it as we go through all the movies, but yeah, it's. I think when we finished it, you had made the comment of like these movies are not like what I feel like they were advertised or like what you would assume them to be.
right,
They're very much like yeah. Even in my head, I was like, yeah, it's just gonna be fucking monkey on people violence. All these movies, and it's
right.
not really. But you know what though, and we'll get into it. I think that's a little part of the charm of it. But we'll get to that. Let's focus on the first movie and things we liked about it. Um, because like we just said, it's the most important of all of them.
Sure.
It's the only thing you need to know that is how did the Planet of the Apes happen? This movie. Um yeah, to describe this movie in one sentence, it's the movie that causes the disease that makes monkeys smart and people stupid. It's what starts the whole thing that makes the world the Planet of the Apes. Boom, there's the plot. And they have some fun with it, man. Oh my god. James Franco at this point in time when the movie came out was a very like big name, big get actor. Um and yeah, he it's because of him that I think you get this sense of just like instant familiarness with these new people that you're just meeting for this movie, and you can buy James Franco acting off a CGI monkey. He does a really good job of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, you feel, oh my god, dude, I'm telling you, I'm really glad we didn't pay close attention to this together because I think I did need to sit and just watch it myself. I, just because of like the way he talks to baby Caesar and like does stuff with the I couldn't help but see my own kid in that. I was just like it affected me on a new level upon watching this movie. So then
Wow.
when it gets to the parts where like he has to abandon him, like, oh my god, this movie had the most emotion out of all of them, I'd say. Emotion that I felt.
I really like how they built James Franco and Caesar's relationship throughout the
Mhm.
film. I think
Mhm.
it's a really easy cop out for a film like this to maybe just say, yeah, like animals are oppressed, they hate humans, and that's why they are rebelling against humans, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like the film did a really good job at deliberately showing that, hey, like this isn't a negative relationship, right,
Yeah.
between humans and
Yeah.
Caesar, right? Like to the point that, they treated him like a person, right? They dressed him up, they like when we want to use a fork, they let him. They even like took him out and let him like do his monkey stuff out in the jungle, right? They didn't try to like oppress him in any way. And I think that I know like that relationship with him, with between humans and Caesar was
Mhm.
fundamental in his like leadership style throughout the rest of the films.
For sure. For sure. Like how do I want to put this? He never wants to he doesn't want to take over the world. He doesn't want anything but like monkeys not in cages. That's his only thing, and that's what he's all about. The other animals, they might want to fucking kill all the humans, but for Caesar, it's never about the humans are the enemy. It's just about freedom for the monkeys.
Right.
And I think that's what separates him, and that's what makes him such a good leader, because he's like, yeah, yeah, I mean, if you guys do violence on people, I'm gonna be really pissed off, but like, we don't need to. And like, every movie is just like Caesar to his wits end, being like, we do not need to fight these fucking people. That's not what it's about.
But we will if we have to.
But we will if we have to. And that's pretty awesome, and it's a pretty great trait to establish right away in your first movie. If anything, even though the other two movies don't need to really exist, to see like Caesar go through shit and still hold on to that throughout all the movies makes him so much better. If anything, you get to see like Caesar become somebody worth truly worshiping through the other two movies.
I argue that the second and third movie, they really show you Caesar's leadership style, right? Because
Mm,
I guess you maybe see like some of the breadcrumbs of it and the formation of it in the first film, but you
mhm.
leave that first film thinking like, yeah, they're on this bridge, like they're effing up these humans, like there's like machine guns and shit going on, right? Like you think the next films are gonna be like, oh yeah, it's like all out like balls to the wall war, right?
Yeah.
But instead, it's like a double down to say, like, look, you've seen where Caesar has come from, right?
Mhm.
And had I not been expecting, something like all out like human ape war in the second one, I probably would have enjoyed it more, right? It's called
Mhm.
Dawn, right? So I'm expecting
Mhm.
like more uprising, taking over, struggle, right? But
Yeah.
instead, it's more like, no, this is just like character development and a showcase of how Caesar is going to, lead um, the intelligent apes into the next phase.
Yeah. It's almost like a series of movies that you really have to think. Like, the titles are fun and they're different, but they also like have some sort of deeper meaning to them. And it's like, well, the Planet of the Apes didn't start with like monkeys killing humans. Like, the whole idea, I think they even say in the original movie, like, humans killed themselves off and we were just left. And that's kind of like what these movies are like, it's the dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's not the apes aren't doing anything. It's just the people keep doing shit that gets them even more fucking out of the system, till the third movie where like basically all of the humans that we know of are dead, are just completely dead, all dead, all by their own doing. So it's very interesting, because like, yeah, I also went into these movies just thinking like, yeah, it's fucking monkey takeover time, like the monkeys are coming for the people. And what I got was more of just like, no, this is just like a rising society while another society type of collapses, type of
Right.
film.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting.
Is it an analogy or a comparison as to how people should be or how people ought to be?
Or that some things are ultimately inevitable, because you're even seeing, because like this, I was thinking of this today when I was watching the fourth one. I was like, hey, the monkeys took over, and guess what, they're fighting each other now. Like, like there's no type of culture or empire that can last forever. Like, even the
Right.
monkeys aren't perfect and are killing one another and all this shit.
All cycles
um
through. Right. Yeah.
right.
That's a good
Which I
point.
didn't think that when we had just watched the 3, but then seeing the 4, I was like, yeah, I mean, it never seemed like their society was perfect. There was a lot of issues throughout 2 and 3 for them. But in 4, they're literally like different clans, different people following Caesar's religion in different ways. Like, no matter what, society ends up like this is kind of like the statement here.
But if we're gonna look like so,
I'm going too far.
Kingdom Kingdom was made as a reboot, right? So the
The
original
kingdom
the original three were
kingdom
supposed to be standalone.
Yeah, those 3, but 4 isn't a reboot. 4 is just like a continuation, but they're like doing a new trilogy, so they're calling it like a re something, but
Revival, I think, is the word used.
it's still in that thing. It's still in that like storyline, that
Right.
canon, I guess.
It's in the same
Um,
universe, but it's like a revival, rebirth,
well, yeah, they're
continuation
just
of.
trying like, what else can we do here? And that's I hate hopping around, but I am going to say this right up ahead until we get to it for real. I did think that it was like I liked at the start of Kingdom because I didn't see the beginning when we had watched it. So I only saw it today. And it starts basically where 3 ended. Like it's showing the burial of Caesar. It's showing like the exact moments after his death from the last movie. And I was like, "Oh, that's such a cool like interesting tie-in that I didn't know about when I watched it before. Let's see if it's going to do anything more for me this time." And it really didn't. I was like, it almost didn't. I don't know why they threw that in. It made me think like I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna get. Like none of the clans are like Caesar's kids' family for all we know. Like it's not mentioned. So there was just I don't know. There was no connection other than like, yep, these are just more of those monkeys that are from his lineage, which I would have just assumed if they didn't show me that scene anyway. But it's fine.
Nothing was done with his son in the fourth one.
It didn't seem like it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to watch it again. So another thing about these movies, they're not easy movies. Like if you're on your phone while a scene is happening, you've missed an entire plot point that could be detrimental. Like you really have to pay attention. A lot of it's sign language. A lot of it's just like what the monkeys are getting up to. So you got to really be for a movie that is apes getting intelligence. It requires a commitment,
I
especially if you
did.
want to get it. We were asking each other questions the whole fucking time for both movies.
Right.
Uh,
I think
that I think would have been a lot easier if we would have just listened to the first movie, but still.
I feel like we're kind of like naturally bridging from one to two at this point, right? So I think
Yeah,
takeaways from
one's
one
great.
is it's a good
T-
movie. It was a
mm-hmm.
strong start, but
Yes.
I guess my like 10 words or less impression is it makes you think, it sets you up for something that you're not expecting.
Yeah. And I do want to just say two more like big notable moments that I like about this movie. One was when we caught the Easter egg of the newspaper being like lost in space. It's such a nothing thing, but it's like look at that little tie-in to say like here's the ship that got lost that eventually comes back in 300, 400, 500 years to make the original movie. Really
Right.
dug that. Like that kind of reboot stuff is really cool. Another thing that I think is just so important because a lot of reboots they'll do this kind of thing where they borrow something or a line from one of the older movies to be like a wink wink nudge nudge, and you get that scene with Malfoy being like, "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape!" Like he says the line that you know he nails it just as him. But what do? They recreate the whole scene by making it the moment that Caesar speaks for the first time, and he just shouts, "No!" Like they took an already epic thing and then added something to it that fit specifically to the movie that we were watching. Mwah! I love that scene. We stopped even when we were talking the other day. I was like, we got to watch that part. Now when I was paying attention to it, I was just like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking good." Like if you're going to reboot something and you're going to try to play with our nostalgia heartstrings, you better add a fucking spice. Like if you're going to cover a song, you better make it worthy of the song that you're covering. And they did it with that, I thought.
It's the
I
best
just
scene in the
wanted
whole
to say
movie.
that it is the best scene in the whole movie that could have been cheesy. Another movie does like a borrowed line from an older movie and it's just like, "Oh, they said the thing." And that could have been the said the thing. And even, Malfoy delivered it very well. But it could have just been that. But they were like, "No, no, no. Let's let's make Caesar's first word be just no. We're done." And that is his resolve from this movie forward.
Yeah, no doubt. And it would be easy too for them to just say he resents humans because of guys like Malfoy. And
Right.
it's his vengeance quest against all humans, right? But instead they focus
Yes.
more on like No, he's got the more like pacifist approach. They took the harder angle, I think. They focused on they make humans the bad guy, which is so easy to do.
Yeah, so easy to do, and they do it. I think throughout all of them really well too. Like that's something I can agree with every movie. They do pretty well balancing that. Even when it gets to points where like you're also seeing in later movies that like some of the monkeys fucking suck. Like people just suck sometimes. Not all monkeys are bad. Not all people are bad, but some do, and we got to
Like
kill them.
Coda hates humans, and you saw that at the end of the first movie.
Yeah, yeah. Which is like interesting. His like the fact that he dug around with Caesar for like 10 years and did like truly, it seemed like at the beginning of the movie, even though he was like shifty, it seemed like he still, respected and followed Caesar. But the second he had doubt, he just went for it.
Right?
Like, interesting. He's an interesting character. Now, we were very confused on him the whole beginning of the second movie. We really had to puzzle that together. And once again, after watching the first movie, like paying attention, I was like, oh fuck it. We would have never been confused about any of that if we would just paid attention to the second movie. You get all of Koba's backstory in that movie. But yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is it's a movie. Okay. It's like I think an episode of Walking Dead, but like some of the episodes are from the zombies' perspective, but there's bad zombies that have to fight the zombies. That's how this movie kind of feels. Very Walking Dead-y. Very Walking Dead-y, but in place of zombies, apes.
You go from a
Or in
film that
place of
has
zombies, people.
yeah, yeah,
Kind
true.
of, yeah. Ooh.
You go from a film that has strong human actors with a lot of dialogue and a lot of action
Mm-hmm.
to a movie
Mm-hmm.
that is very like developmental of Caesar's leadership and not strong human actors and a lot of sign language.
A lot of sign language. A lot of sign language. When we started, like we said, we started this late. And one thing I'll say, I liked it so much though. I woke up for it. But when we start the first like half hour, I was like trying to like fight my way to get to the point. But once it got going, I was locked in. But that
Yeah,
first half hour, fucking sign language, it's all monkeys for a little bit. People just kind of like show up at some point. Both these movies do this, 2 and 3. They both start with like kind of like a quick heavy action scene,
yeah,
and then after that action scene's done, it slows the fuck down. And Dawn slows the fuck down for a while.
right.
But I think in a good way. Like difficult for almost, 9:30 to 11 o'clock at night. But it caught me. It caught
Like
me.
to me, it just felt like we just need something to get us to humans are attacking apes, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was really what that movie was. And
Mm-hmm.
arguably, like you could say apes becoming intelligent and breaking out is enough at the end of the first movie. You
Mm-hmm.
know, really the second film in my eyes is just it just shows the development of Caesar as a leader,
Yeah.
as a character, right? It shows like,
Yeah.
hey, there's internal strife. His leadership was tested. There's a whole other like subsect of apes that have this like different methodology. Like his leadership methodology was tested. And
Mm-hmm.
he could have succumbed to that and said, you know what, yeah, like Malfoy, he was an asshole, right? Like screw humans, right? Like I've been away from, my dad, James Franco, for 10 years now, and maybe more humans are bad than good. I had this one good experience with a human, but maybe there's more
Yeah.
bad than good. Like, let's succumb to what Kobo wants to do and just move forward with that, right? But
Yeah.
instead, the film focuses on like, no, like he's gonna double down on his approach to say like, no, we don't kill humans, right? And that
Yeah.
that leads. I think that's really like the message behind this film. We're gonna say, like we're gonna strengthen Caesar's resolve, even in the face of a challenge from another ape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like while he's while he's resolving, he's also learning some things about himself and his kind. Like, he's worried he's going to get betrayed by the people the whole movie. Even us watching, I was like, oh, they're going to think the people are going to betray him. He watches as Koba shoots him. He's just like, I've been worried about people killing me. One of my own dudes who just like put his hand up and let me slap it is shooting me right now. And I have to rely on people again to
Right.
make me okay. So it's just more like he has such resolve, such conviction, but it's like you get these little moments that like you see his doubt and then you see him like learn from his doubt to become better. And it's slow. It's not, the first movie with the action, but I like those little moments. Those are like moments that get better with me over time, I think.
I
You
just have a
know?
hard time remembering like major plot points. Maybe because I was like struggling to stay awake during portions of it, but I also think
Yeah.
it's less memorable.
Yeah, I would agree with that though too. I would agree with that too. I think it just has a lot like good moments and good like developments. But is it enough for me to want to go back and watch it again? Probably not. Um yeah, this is one that we also as we were watching it had a lot of, I'd hate to say plot holes, but plot holes and just contrived moments. Just contrivances riddled
Yeah.
all over this film. Which
That's
it's
another
like,
good point that you bring up. Sorry to cut you off,
yeah,
but
I almost forgot about that.
I'd
And I
found
still liked
like
it.
we were looking at each other saying like there's major plot holes here, right? Or like
Yeah.
it
Like,
definitely
how about
wouldn't have
that? How
happened that
convenient.
way. Yeah,
Mhm. There's a big moment in the third movie that we'll get to, but, like, throughout too, they're not big moments, but they are, like, a lot of little things that are just like, "Oh, well, why did it happen like that?" Like, and I think one of the bigger ones is, like, Koba gets everybody to join him by making them think that humans shot and killed Caesar. And in the middle of them fighting the humans, a guy is like, Caesar wouldn't want us to do that. And he's just like, in front of everybody, don't fucking talk about Caesar. And he kills fucking Ash, Rocket's kid,
right,
kills him, survived a bullet to the head earlier in the movie. And Koba throws him off a cliff for being like, yeah, that guy we're here to avenge. Him, his thoughts. Yeah, fuck that guy. And nobody was like, that's weird. Like, they just still rolled with him. Like, even these are not just monkeys. They're not just stupid monkeys. They're the intelligent Caesar monkeys.
right.
They could figure out something's awry with old Koba, but
They, they
whatever.
were following Caesar's methodology for a decade, for 10 years, and
Mm-hmm.
it took a very short period of time for them to all immediately jump ship and do a complete 360 and say, yeah, let's totally change course.
Yeah. So, whatever. The movie's got to go. There's enough like pushing it forward that you can let these like little little contrivances pass. I think a big moment in the third movie is like it's like what sets them free in the third movie is the contrivance. But in this one, it was just like I'm trying to remember there because there was a lot. There's a lot of things. One, we were either questioning what the fuck was going on, or we were questioning the legitimacy of how things would play out. And yeah, that's where I expected a lot out of this movie. I heard really good things. So when I've seen things like that, I was like, okay, I feel like this movie's better than this, but it's still doing this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Dawn was it was harder to follow and less believable.
Yeah. And like the bombs at the end that Sirius Black shoots off, that's supposed to like fucking kill everything. They like talk them up to be like basically nukes, and it just like causes a little explosion that nobody really gets. Like maybe some fodder monkeys die from, but like
Right.
That's the thing. It had some sick ass action scenes though. I think it had some of the better. I think seeing them ride into Helm's Deep like that, like at the end there, or not the end, kind of the middle, like where they were all the monkeys were on the horses and Koba's leading the initial revolt against the people. I thought
Right.
that was
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
The
Agreed.
jailbreak scene. Another thing, I do my biggest flaw, I think, with all of these movies. This is four movies straight, where there is a subplot or plot of monkeys breaking out, like needing like a jailbreak. Every single one of these movies does it in some form, and I just feel like if they just expanded their horizon on like a different type of storyline, they could make a really, once again, interesting Planet of the Apes movie. Just because, like, how many times are we gonna watch these people break out? I mean, even when I got to Kingdom, I was like, yeah, it's just him trying to, instead of break away from the humans, to break away from the monkeys.
Right. Revolting against something or somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Another
It,
plot hole that comes to mind. So in the second one, Dawn, like
mm-hmm.
they're saying like we don't think there's any more humans at all, right? The last time we saw humans was years ago,
10 years
right?
ago. Yeah, yeah,
Yet
yeah, yeah.
yet there are humans very close by. And
Pretty
they're
damn
talking about
close.
like sending scouts out and like foraging and like they're trying to what is that? They're trying to like the dam, right? They're trying to like get that dam up and running like the human
Mm-hmm.
colony is, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
but the apes were already they're already at that dam, weren't they? They already kind of like knew the whereabouts of it.
Yeah, they basically had control of it.
Right. Yet
So like close
so they have
enough.
scouts, they know the area, right? Yet 10 years they couldn't find humans that just happened to like walk up the path into their camp like
Yeah,
so it leads you think like I think you made the comment during the film like maybe Caesar knew this and was intentionally like steering his people away from
yeah.
them, but that was like a big like
You'd have,
what the fuck
yeah.
sort of
The
moment.
movie doesn't tell you. You can maybe assume it, and maybe we just missed where the movie did tell us that. But like, yeah, they're right. They're right there, man. And like, not only are they right there, but like they just live right in the same direction, like where the monkeys that are in the woods escape from. Like it's just like it's not like there's somewhere and there's just a random area that has people. No, they're somewhere near where they came from, where they knew there were lots of people, and they never were like, we should go check that spot in 10 years, like that place we came from, to see if there's
Yeah.
any people, because we know there's people. We knew there were people there. Is there people there? So yeah, that
And
was
there was
kind
a
of weird.
ton of them. There was like a whole like it
Loads.
wasn't like just a camp. It was like no, there's like a whole like civilization of people down here. Like that part was very like I think during the film, I won't say like city names or whatever, right? But during the movie when we were watching it, I compared it to it's like driving the distance of where we live, where you and I live, to where we went to high school, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
driving that distance, which is like 10
Assuming,
minutes
yeah.
down the road, right? That's what it seemed like in the film. So that was
That,
definitely like a big like what the heck type of moment.
yeah. It's close enough, even if it is a big difference or big distance. It's close enough that a dam could really fix their problems. Like, how close do you got to be to a dam to be like, we could use that. We could actually use that to give us energy at this place.
Yeah. It just felt like another kind of forced way like, well, we got to get the humans to interact with them somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even still like 10 years really isn't that long of a period of time, right? If you're talking about a subset of intelligent apes, say I don't know, maybe like 30 at most at the end of Rise,
Done. Oh, Rise. Yeah.
to say 10 years in San Francisco, this group of apes have isolated themselves to the point that they haven't seen humans in 10 years and there's only like 30
Yeah.
of them. It just seems like a
Yeah.
bit ridiculous. Like San Francisco's a big area, right? Like how many apes are it? Like, right? It just seems a bit odd to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, man. This was something we brought up countless times throughout the movie that eventually you're just like, okay, I mean, the movie's happening, whether I accept that this
right?
is how it's working or not. I guess I'll just have to roll with it. But
Like
yeah, that
like
was pretty big.
it's called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah,
So like dawn of something would, in my eyes, is like the beginning of. So if we're
yeah,
beginning the Planet of the Apes, I would think this film would have been okay, like a growing number of intelligent apes led by Caesar, and then trying to be like stifled by people, shutting
hmm
them down, right? But apes ultimately prevailing, and like, okay, now it's the dawn, right? Now we have all like taken over, right? And then war is probably maybe just them holding on to
finishing
that
the job.
control. Yeah, but instead,
Yeah,
like the time gap seemed too short, I felt. For what they were trying to portray, 10 years didn't feel like long enough to have that be believable.
yeah, that's true. I agree. Because that was throughout every movie we watched, I would consistently like go on Wikipedia and be like, what is the time gap between this movie and the last? And I expected more than 10. And so it said 10. I was like, 10? Like 10? Caesar has a whole fucking adult kid 10 years later. I'm just like,
Right.
geez. Okay. And I mean, they have increased aging or whatever because of the gene or whatever, but 10 years, man, fuck. I mean, in the grand scheme of things. And the weird thing is, like, it's then 15 years later by the next one or something like that. It's only like 2 or 3 years later. And basically all the humans are just gone, I guess. Like it seems like they drastically went down a number again in just like 3 or 4 years compared to the first 10. But then you get to the fourth movie, which is, hundreds of years later, and there's still people, like people out, not only just running around, but also like in bunkers, safe somewhere. It's just like, how did humanity, if humanity is still lasting to such a degree 300 years later, how am I supposed to believe that they're so wiped out only 10 to 12 years later?
Well, is the disease doesn't necessarily kill humans, right? It just regresses them
Yeah.
from an evolutionary perspective, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
I think in Kingdom you see that like years down the road where like we're in loincloths and we're like running around like primitive beasts, right?
Hmm, hmm,
So I think maybe it's less about numbers and just more about like state of the species and
hmm,
capability of the species
hmm.
on both ends of the spectrum, right? Like the apes are rising in intelligence, becoming the superior race, and the humans are regressing. So there's just a
Yeah.
focus on, okay, well, this is the intelligent species, so let's focus on them, what they're doing. And meanwhile, millions of humans are, you know, regressing evolutionary.
Yeah. And yet I don't understand. I thought Woody Harrelson made it perfectly clear in the third movie that like eventually all people could get this, like will just have this disease. Like don't even need to come in contact with it. But then like generations and generations later, there's still like there's a network of communicating not dumbed down people. And I'm just like, where are these movies trying to go with this then? Like to me, the whole idea of Planet of the Apes is like people eventually are gone. Like they're completely gone. And I'm fine with them becoming primitive. That's fun too, but like I don't know, do these movies keep going and people take the world back? Like do people want to see that? Like where is this going? Are monkeys going to eventually ever start killing people? Or are people gonna make a comeback? I don't know. And that's how the fourth movie kind of ends and makes me feel. We're a long way from talking about the fourth movie, but that's how it ultimately made me feel by the end. I was just like, what's the deal with people in these movies at this point?
Yeah, and that piece sounds like um a portion of the fourth that I'm missing, right? Because I remember like Nova, right? But I don't
Hmm.
recall like the networks of people that are still around. But to that point, if there are there,
It's like
I would
the end of the movie.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I would
it's
argue
like the
though, like
very end.
perhaps people are beginning to develop an immunity, right? Some people are evolving to not be affected by it.
Yeah.
It would have to
I
be, right? Because or else
yeah.
Nova would be getting it. She would have it.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, she would. And the people that she meets up with at the end of the movie would as well, but they don't. And they're talking to people from like across the country that are also alive. And it's just like, so wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think the only proper way for this all to work out. So I know their plan is to do like three more, like two more movies after this one to do another trilogy. And I'm just thinking to myself, is this a long term way to make us watch 6 movies to finally get to the movie where the monkeys have to fight and kill off the people
Right.
because they survived disease? They have to be wiped out somehow so that we get to the Planet of the Apes.
Right. Uh, But are you already kind of there in the fourth film?
A little bit.
That's the most dominant, right? I mean, you see, but yeah, I
Here's
mean,
what
I
I
don't
think
know.
they should
Yet
do.
they're still kind of primitive though, right? I mean, they're living in like tree houses. They're not like because in the original movies, like, aren't they in like the 1968 one? Like, aren't they wearing like clothing and like standing straight up? And they're like, in essence, like people,
Yeah.
just apes.
They're still like a little barbaric, but they are like, they're pretty far along this. Here's what I think they could do. And we're going to get right back to talking about the movies individually, but here's what I think they should do.
We're
What I
on
think
three
they
right now.
should do is is for the fifth movie, make the fifth movie be the one where um the monkeys and the humans like the humans survive, they're getting back together, and the monkeys' only way to take the planet over is to fight them. And ultimately, they have to make people be full term, either I think the bad guys, but or just like the tragic antagonists, because they have to die. And then for the sixth movie, you do a complete remake of the original Planet of the Apes movie, where the astronaut comes back and we as viewers know that he's landed on the Planet of the Apes. So we have to watch a guy be like, "Where am I? What planet is this? What's going on?" And we see the first movie through the lens of all these other 6 movies we've just watched. And then boom.
Oh, we should have watched the original.
We should have watched the original. I did a little reading about it, but we should have watched the original because, like I said, I was boy when I saw this movie.
We should have just sat
Uh,
and watched all like we should have started that and then we should have watched all
fuck.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Here we are.
there's like 2 or 3 other movies that follow that original one. Like there's more. And that's what I think they should do with the reboot, is kind of like combine those 4 old movies just into one final Planet of the Apes. Like, because they could do another jump. Like the 5th movie could be like, once again, another 100 or so years later. Something.
Right.
It's time to move the timeline.
We're on war.
We're on war. Yeah, we should jump to war. Yeah.
The rise ends with Caesar defeating
Dawn.
Koba. Damn it. Dawn. Dawn
Yeah.
ends with Caesar defeating Koba.
That stuff
And
was cool in the second movie. The
that
monkey
was
on
cool.
monkey shit was good. It was good.
Rallying and saying, like, no, he is the guy. Right.
Mhm.
And then 3, war, we see the cover as it's called War.
It is
Caesar
called
and
War.
his boys behind him,
Mhm.
Maurice and Luna,
Rocket, Luca,
That's it. On horses
Rocket.
behind, and
Mhm.
you see all this like
Ash's
action
dad.
going on behind you. Ash is dead, right? But you see him and his boys there, and you're just like, yeah, like it's called War, the Planet of the Apes. Like
Yeah.
the second film ended with like humans are coming, like boom, and we do get
And
that in the
the
first like
opening
half
scene,
hour. Boom, we
the
get it.
opening scene is that though. Remember, it was like
Right.
people working with gorillas for some reason fighting Caesar's boys, and it was just like, whoa, like it started strong again, much like the first movie. Action scene, they fought a bear in the last movie. Now the monkeys have guns and there's gorillas working with people, and I remember being like, whoa, holy shit. And then it slowed down.
And you even said like, why are there monkeys working with people?
It
And
just didn't make sense to me.
it pointed out, it said those are still folks that are aligned with Koba's methodology,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he sided with them. They
Easy way
sided
to
with
kind
them.
of, yeah, because like I still don't think Koba's methodology would work with people, but like whatever, it's a good enough reason to get some monkeys to work with people.
The enemy of my
So
enemy, right?
is my friend, and yeah, that that opening was interesting. It was very interesting. Great battle scene. You know what I mean? Like the action scenes in these movies when they do them, fun, good, well choreographed, especially because most of the shit's like, CGI mixed with actors doing shit type of action. Really good. I love watching monkeys on horses with fucking machine guns doing crazy shit. Loved
Yeah.
it.
The
And it
more
ends
I
with Caesar letting them go, and you get to see more. He's saying, "This is me," being the good guy, letting you guys live and go back to your people, and it fucks him. It fucks him hard.
the more I reflect on 3,
Yep.
it it stands out with more memorable moments, and the plot was more, I think we even said this, the plot was more believable and it was more easily followed, right?
There
There was
was
less
not as much stuff that we had to like call out. We were generally quiet, other than like, who's that again? What's that? Like, we didn't talk much comparatively
it
to
was less
how much we
confusing.
talked. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It was a pretty like straightforward kind of movie too. Like there weren't diverging, we weren't watching what Koba was doing on the side in this one. We were basically just seeing Caesar coordinate through this mess. And it's a mess. I mean, it's a tragic little beginning to the movie. Like you meet up with all the characters that you saw from the last one. They win this battle. They found a place to go, but Caesar's like, let's take a little time. And they just get invaded by people. Woody Harrelson fucking kills his family. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. I was truly shocked when it got to like, because we got to know Caesar's first son, whose name is escaping me now, but we did get to know him quite a bit in the second movie. And he just gets fucking murked at the
Right.
beginning of this one. And Caesar's wife, who we spent the whole second movie trying to get medicine for.
Right.
And she was dying that whole movie. She lived, thank God. Bam, dead. Beginning of this movie. Shit. Caesar, as unhinged as he maybe ever has been, as mad at people as he probably ever has been, and is just on a quest for vengeance with his boys.
But still practices restraint, even when he gets the opportunity for the vengeance. And I think that's one of the reasons the second film is developmental into the third. If you didn't have like if you didn't know his history with Koba and what he saw in his hatred towards humans, those Koba ghost scenes, those visualizations wouldn't have hit as
Those are some
hard.
of my those are some of my favorite parts of the movie, dude. They're literally like borrowing from Shakespearean art by making like Koba become this ghost that haunts Caesar. It's so good, man. I love those scenes.
Walking Dead, Ghosts of Laurie.
Oh my, yes. I mean, we've said it when we watch it. We're gonna keep saying it. These movies are very Walking Dead like, very like the walk. Like, no wonder they came out to such glowing reviews of the years they came out. Walking Dead was popping off back then. People were like eating this
Good
kind of
point.
shit up.
Good point. Yeah, I didn't think about when they were filmed and how their reception would have been in that time, right? It's very much
Yeah.
cultural, right? How a movie lands versus like how it ages.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some things we're calling out this movie for that maybe at the time was, maybe not something people really look too much into, but now it's like, what's going on there? What's that about? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. And there's a couple moments like that in this movie, but I the more see, the more I thought about Dawn, the less I could remember. But the more I thought about War, the more I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like those little moments. I like those little feelies that they throw in at you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. I think it doubles down again on Caesar as a leader, right? Even when he has, I guess, and this is common, I guess, for vengeance quests, right? You spend the whole film like getting to that moment, and then the person ends up not doing it. I guess that's fairly common, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it still just doubles down again on Caesar's approach, right? To say, he could have killed Woody Harrelson, but did not, right? Because he's going to turn into Koba if he does that.
Right. And I mean that follows him through the whole movie. Like even when he's I mean all the way up till he fucking goes to literally kill the guy until he finally it it's Luke Skywalker throwing the lightsaber at the end of
Right.
Return of the Jedi. It's I'm not doing this.
Yep.
Oh well, if it isn't my little Luke Skywalker. Hey Sora. But he's looking at the screen, confused. He's climbing the bed now. Ah, shit, I lost what I was saying.
I think the third overall is a better film and really underscores the message they're trying to give with Caesar. He's not a ruthless leader. Even despite having lost everything, he still is committed to his cause and his like guiding principle.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was
And
like
all,
taken hostage, his family was killed, he had the opportunity in
ay,
front of
ay,
him.
ay. I mean, that's the thing. My like the stuff in the prison was the best of all the prisons of all the movies. I'll say that much. But I'll tell you what, man. I was so bummed when he got caught and was put in prison. By the time we got to the third one, I was like, oh, we're captured again. Like we have to break out again. That's how I felt because I was liking like him and the boys just on the road, like tracking
Yeah,
trouble. I
right.
was into
Yeah, that
that.
was a
I
good
was
one.
really into that stuff because it was stuff with these monkeys that I hadn't really seen before. And they still like it's the best of the prison stuff. Like I was bummed just when it started, but once it got going, I was like, all right, I'll let it go. This is pretty good. And it was pretty good. But when it started, I was like, fuck, he's captured. The only thing that gave me hope was like Rocket and Nova and the new monkey, the fucking dummy, bad monkey, bad ape, I think
Mm,
is what he kept calling himself. Who am I forgetting? There's a Maurice are out there.
Maurice.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
so like in my head, I was like, okay, I know where we're gonna go to get him out of here. But the little journey he kind of goes on while he's in jail, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty solid. Like you really feel things. I mean,
I
you
felt like the his friend, his boys trying to rescue him, like how questionable was that death? The big monkey, I keep forgetting his name, not Maurice, but the other one,
um, Luca,
Luca. Yeah,
yeah,
just
he just got
bam,
stabbed in the
dies
chest.
immediately, right? Just like
Yeah,
killed him off like nothing, right? That I
yeah.
felt
They
that
were
was like a
like,
little lame.
he's he's the biggest, most dangerous monkey in the crew. He'd be very helpful for a jailbreak. He's already broken out of prison once.
Right.
Um, we need him dead, and it did just feel like that. I wish he
That's,
would have got killed like cooler, or in a way that was more believable.
and that moment of
But
action was just so sudden and out of
so quick,
nowhere.
we
Like
rewound. We
boom.
had to like watch it a couple. Like, how did he die?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Winter, Win- Winter getting choked out.
What was the like the crackhead monkey's name?
Is it just bad monkey or
Is
bad ape?
that it? Yeah,
I
maybe
think
that's
he
it.
tells himself he's a bad ape, so I don't know if he has a name.
Yeah, he was funny.
We can call him Crackhead Monkey.
Yeah, when he's down looking through the hole.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They tunnel
That,
through to rescue him.
that's another thing. Like comedy really doesn't make sense. Like, this movie is so heavy most of the time that the comedy kind of catches you off guard, especially with like when that monkey was doing funny things. I was like, should I be laughing right now? Like, there's some pretty fucked up shit going on around all of this. But it still made me laugh, and I appreciate that in a movie.
Can we give you some comic relief throughout it,
S-
right?
Yeah, because I mean, it's heavy. Basically, the whole movie. The beginning, his family dies. The middle, he's a slave. A slave to build a wall to basically get killed anyway. Like, and his people still believe in him. Oh my god, when Woody Harrelson just caps that fucking monkey that they were whipping, holy shit! I was just like, God damn, that was so like hardcore. Apes
Yeah.
together though. Apes
How about
together, strong, dude.
how about Woody Harrelson's his bit of a monologue, right, where he kind of opens up to Caesar a bit and kind of talks about his guiding principles, how he killed his son, all of that stuff. That was pretty wild.
That was a long scene. I remember that scene ending and being like, I liked all of it, but I was like, damn, that went on forever. That was a really long scene.
Right.
Um, but it was good. I mean, you learn his motivation, but you also learn he's crazy. So like he's definitely the most interesting villain character, I suppose, out of all of them, out of all of these movies.
Yeah, he
Um,
definitely showed the most depth, I think.
mhm.
But that scene
The
definitely did
bar's
have
not
like
high for that, but
right Walking Dead vibes on that one too, right? Just long narrative that you really have to
mhm.
be like dialed in to pay attention on it. For
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you do not want to be on your phone during any of these movies because you'll miss something and be like, "What's going on?" It's really making its whole story is being made up as it goes, and it's good. But if you miss something, you're gonna be like, logically, "What's happening here? Why is this happening?" Even when things are happening that you do know, you still have to kind of like puzzle them together. I the more I think about it, the more I'm such a big fan of the way they took out Woody Harrelson in this movie. Like, once again, this movie just like messes with how you think it's going. You think, there's going to be this big battle and Caesar or somebody's going to kill Woody Harrelson, like get his comeuppance, and instead it's just this quiet nothing. The Nova drops her fucking doll in Caesar's cage,
Mhm.
and he sees it, and of course he sees it and picks it up. Why wouldn't he? Like, what the fuck is this? How did this get in here? And it's got her blood on it. And even even when he picked it up, I thought nothing of it. I was just like, "Oh no, he's gonna use that to like kill her or kill him or something." I had no idea they were just cooking up like his demise. So when Caesar went up there to kill him, and he was laying there, even I was at that moment, I was like, "He got drunk right now. What's going
Right.
on?" And
That
then
seemed
it
very out of
dawned on
character for
me.
him. Yeah.
But it was like, duh, like it dawned of the Planet of the Apes right on me. I was like, he got sick. He can't talk. Holy shit. I like that a lot. I really, and then see that, and then it gets to be Caesar's moment of like, he could just kill this motherfucker, but he's like, no, I won't. Go fuck yourself.
I'm looking up some plot points here from from the third movie. It's talking
Okay.
about like just the discovery of Nova, the
Yeah.
formation of Nova, right? And how they're all how that developed and they're all called Nova in the fourth movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a key point in this movie, right? Because they find a human, just find a mute girl and realize that she has the flu and has been muted, right? And is now really kind of emphasizing like the humans are continuing to decline in power, right? And then they just
Mm-hmm.
Nova's a type of car, right? So they just
Yeah.
find that in like
Yeah.
somebody's pocket or something, and they're like, "Oh, I guess this is your name
S-
now."
Yeah. So I think it was in that abandoned like house that Bad Ape was living in or some shit. Like it was just junk there or something. I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. But even we were like, "What is that about?"
Right.
And the movie kept going.
And even like I only watched like the first half an hour of the fourth one, like rewatched it, but that was like a connection I immediately made, right? And to me, it's stuck out how quickly like facts can get like distorted, right? How the truth is truly written by the victor, the winner,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that was such an insignificant scene in the third one. Like, oh yeah, like I think as soon as they handed it to her, like, oh, her name's gonna be Nova now, and sure enough, it was, right? And
Yeah.
that
Yep.
over the course of 100 years leads to, oh yeah,
That's just what we call.
we call these humans, they're all just Nova now,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting point. It makes you think about like what other things in the film or just in modern society started with just something so small and insignificant, but then people
Mm-hmm.
grab onto it and you show like now this is just how we think now and we don't really know why, but this is just how it is.
And that's what all three of these first three movies kind of do, is just set up these like, here's what actually happened kind of things, so that when the fourth one and all the rest happen, that you can see like just how I mean, it goes even from like Caesar's window at James Franco's house becomes the symbol of like his entire kingdom, religion. Like they all wear the window symbol thing that defines Caesar, and it's just like,
Right, right. Yeah.
but they see it as like this holy thing. It was just James Franco's dad's window. You know what I mean? At his
Yeah.
house. It's fun. Like that's what all these movies do really, really, really well.
Or even like the distortion of Caesar's methodology, right?
Oh
It
yeah,
it goes into
big.
like killing people that they're using what they what they believe his methodology is to just like control people, right? And killing apes, and that was like the one thing that they like was so much against, right?
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
cult like, right? Like taking the words of,
Oh yeah.
a god out of context and just like using it to control people.
I mean, the dude in the fourth movie is literally like, through Caesar, we're gonna get these nukes and kill all these people. Caesar wants this. It's just like, wow, you got that completely twisted. Like,
Right?
holy fuck, like where things can go. I mean, we'll get into a lot of that when we get to the fourth movie, because there's like most of the movie hangs on the balance of like that exact message of like how crazy things can be twisted. Um, but the third movie, I wanted to talk about that the big contrived scene that is the only one to really talk about in this movie, is how they get the keys to break out of their cages at the end. Um that's the only like weak moment in this whole movie, and it's funny. They try to hide a weak moment in a funny scene where the guard gets hit with shit in the back of his head,
Oh, that's
and
funny. Yeah.
instead of just like yelling at the monkeys from where he was, or threatening them from where he was, or from threatening them from just outside the cage, he gets hit by shit a couple times and he goes into the cage, and it's just like, and they need to beat him up and kill him and take his keys. It's like,
Yeah, we said like the
why
second
would he
film
ever go in there?
had a lot of plot holes, right? That
Yeah.
was definitely a big one in the third film. Like that could have
It's
went
such a
south
little
so many
moment.
ways,
So
right?
many, like it had to go exactly in the way that like would never happen, where he would just walk in to the whole field of monkeys to be like, who threw that shit at me?
And then
Would
to lock the
never.
door, to close the door behind him. What a
Uh,
ridiculous! Like what guard in their right mind would open up the door and then close it behind him? That was just yeah. But I think it was a bit of comic relief too. Like I think the
it,
third,
well, that's what I
it,
mean. They tried to make it funny, so we didn't see like just how implausible it was.
right.
How everything banked on that. Everything that follows banks on them getting out through that cage.
That was a weak moment, no doubt.
But whatever. The movie had built enough of my respect that I let that slide, but I saw it.
How about Donkey? He
How
has an
about,
arc. He has an arc there at the end and saves the day.
yeah, you don't, you wonder if it's coming the whole movie. You don't think it's actually gonna. Um, Donkey is the ape that we get introduced to at the beginning that made me go, apes work with people now? And ultimately, he makes the right choice. I mean, it's a cool scene. I have to say, it's a damn cool scene. He fucking rocket launches a guy at like point blank and that's about to kill Caesar and fucks him up.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Predictable. Definitely predictable.
But you know what though? That's something that The Walking Dead would do for something like that. Like somebody would kill like a zombie that way. But the way that one random no-name guard just turns around and point blanks Donkey, you'd never see that in The Walking Dead. They'd never like just off a main character like that. That hit me pretty hard because it made his like move even all the more like martyrish. Like he saved Caesar to help these fucking monkeys. The best decision he's made the whole movie, and immediately killed for
Killed,
it.
right? But I guess
Wild.
predict that part I think was unpredictable to be capped like that. But for him to help
Yeah.
at the end, like could see that. But yeah, I agree to just even though it's from a distance to just like immediately cap him at the end. It's just like
Yeah.
wow, shit.
I felt
That
it. Distance or not, I was like, damn, he saved the day. He got his moment and he fucking died immediately. Which, he's been an asshole the whole movie. Makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I lots of likable monkey characters. Can't tell most of them apart, but when you do know who you're dealing with, you're always like, yeah, 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 Rocket. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maurice.
Yeah, the third had a more compelling plot. It had comic relief. It had, yeah, it had like some of the plot holes that the second one had, but I think overall it was a better film. It was more engaging, right? And I don't think the second really had a whole lot of comic relief. Not that it sticks out to me in the way the third did.
Yeah.
Did anything stick
Two
out to
had like
you?
what's that?
Anything stick out to you in the second?
Um, I'm just thinking of when Koba was like acting a fool. Like it was funny, but it was like for him to kill those guys. Like when he was acting goofy, like it was funny to see, but ultimately it was kind of like, so like that's funny, but then it was dark as fuck. So
Right,
yeah, the third one had funny things that could just be funny in the moment and not be
right.
like actually pretty fucked up.
Independently funny, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Which is crazy because 3 covers some pretty heavy shit. I mean, like we talked about, there's a whole scene where Woody Harrelson, for like, I swear to God, 14 minutes, is like, I killed my son. All right. Like, holy fuck. It's a heavy movie. It's a heavy movie. I thought they killed Cornelius at the beginning too. I was just like, this movie killed a baby monkey. I'm
Right.
glad they didn't. I was so relieved he lived because when I thought he was dead, I was like, this movie is hardcore. No matter what happens from this point forward, it's pretty hardcore. And then Cornelius was alive, and I was like, okay,
Yet they
but
don't do
still.
much else with it,
They never do anything else with him.
Why'd they keep
He
him
gets a
alive?
fucking cameo appearance in the fourth movie, and they don't even like try to tie like Cornelius, our great great grandfather Cornelius.
Does he make a
Yeah, I
cameo in
don't.
the fourth one?
At the very beginning, when they do the
Okay,
scene of Caesar's like burial, when they burn him to death,
gotcha.
and
Okay.
he's watching him.
Could have
Yeah,
did more with that. Why keep him alive in the third if you weren't going to do more with him in the fourth, right?
yeah. because here's what I think. Because there's no human alive that could believe that if this guy killed his baby son, he'd ever fucking like choose the high ground and be like, humans are okay. That guy would have killed his baby, he would have been probably completely lost. So they had to give him some sort of like sense of like reason.
But then in the fourth, that was a good way to leave off, right? Like it, or at least if it was going to be 100 years, you could have said that maybe Cornelius was the one who led that subgroup of like true devout Caesar followers, right?
Well,
Yet
that's the
Yet
thing.
we see Noah like coming across the remnants of that group with one person left and do nothing with Cornelius. And now we're introduced to this new character, which is fine, but you could at least get that if you wanted to write him off, make it 200 years, or maybe make it like maybe there'll be like a flashback to show Caesar's death, right? And then you flash forward and you just see maybe like an image or two of Cornelius like leading this like true devout
Yeah.
Caesar methodology. And then if you want to start with Noah, just tie that in some way, right? But
In
just nothing
some
was
way.
done.
But that's the thing. The fourth movie starts with showing Caesar like dying and showing Maurice and them putting him on a fire pyre and fucking lighting him up. And you get a close up of Cornelius's face, and then a screen just comes up and says, many generations later.
Right.
And I just don't know how, I don't know if at all, any of these tribes were a part of Caesar's original tribe. I
Right.
assume because they know who he is, but like, how the fuck did we get here? And there's nothing other than people knowing about Caesar's story that tells me how individual characters are connected to the other people we know.
Isn't it
You know what
called
I mean?
Proximus Caesar? Isn't that what he calls himself?
Yeah, Proximus Caesar. But
Right.
like he dubs himself that. Like, and am I to think that like they are the original Caesar group? Like that's how the Caesar group turned out, because Noah's people don't even know the name Caesar. So they're so far removed they don't know who the fuck he is. These guys have a guy that's calling himself Caesar. He doesn't believe his beliefs the right way, but like they at least know who he is. So like are they what became of Caesar's
Right.
crew? Cuz that's sad. Cuz they're all dead by the end of this fourth movie.
Where did it go? Like, so you have, I think the scalability is kind of confusing too. Like we're only really exposed to Caesar and his group, his village, right? Which is maybe like
Mhm.
50 apes, right? At tops, right? Like it is the
Yeah.
intelligence spreading too? Like, is there a larger like extended universe
I
happening?
mean,
I mean, there must be, right? Because
there must be,
if it says many
clearly.
generations later, like, okay, if this is just like one sub pocket, maybe Caesar or his influence or his name or his methodology spread out to some other people, right? But not
Mhm.
enough to lead like a full collapse. So like generations pass, maybe there's really not a profound leader or somebody's just looking to take over control, and they can just say, "Oh yeah, like here was a person that people rally behind, but we're just going to take this methodology and twist it and use it to control." So I think you could just pull that up from the past, completely removed from Caesar and his group, just to use that to take control and create their own uprising.
I mean, I'd like to say they do, but I don't know because there's too many like unknowns of the from point A to point Z.
Right.
But I mean, it's a good movie around. Like you don't you don't need to know that, but it would be nice to know that kind of stuff. You don't need to, but it would be nice.
Right.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Was it just like, oh yeah, we found? Well, no, I guess it does kind of bridge the gap a bit with that group. But I can't remember the monkey's name, but that like loyalist Caesar methodology follower. So he has like the books right in the beginning that Noah meets.
Yeah. What the fuck is his name?
So
Taka? Something like that.
there is though remnants of like, hey, look, like there was an effort to almost as like a religion to carry
Yeah.
out his word, right? So, and everyone's dead from that group, right? Except for the one
Isn't
guy.
that how
So,
religion just goes? Yeah, you could make it whatever you want.
so I guess maybe you're led to believe that, because that group kind of died off or were killed off or whatever, you just had another maybe stronger group take bits and pieces of it, make it what they wanted, and
Yeah.
use that to follow. And the truest died off.
It makes sense. I mean, even just on a small scale, you have, in 10 years, you have people being like, we see the point Caesar's making, but we follow Koba. So if like people went that far, you'd assume that in hundreds of years that, I mean, think about even just in real life, like how much religion just stems off a different idea of one other religion. Like
Right.
it's wild. So, and it's only been hundreds of years for these apes. Um,
Kind of reminds me of like the evolution of like Donald Trump and MAGA,
yeah,
right?
a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
A rise to power and then evolution, right? And granted, I mean, yeah, I mean that's just a whole jar of worms there, but I think people, these subgroups have taken like his words in literal whether they were meant in literal context or not, and just interpreted it in a way that they wanted to and used it to route Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, right? Like
Yeah.
that type of thing. I think it's like a similar concept, right? Take the words of somebody in power and twist
Yeah.
them to control people in the way that you want them to. You want
That's
to.
the thing. All these movies kind of have little messaging like that throughout them. Like little bit. They don't dive deep enough to really make a real statement, but it's there. It's certainly there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Kingdom though, if you're a casual movie watcher like myself, right? I think Kingdom sets the tone for the series that I was kind of more hoping for, right? More action based, more like right, less deep, less like character driven, less
Yeah.
developmental, right?
Yeah.
And the more we
Yeah.
sit here and talk about it, I think maybe I undervalued the second and third a bit because I think they do provide like good context for the fourth, right? You really can see like Caesar, tested in different situations and you learn to appreciate truly what his methodology was. Um, so I think there's value there, right? But I still stand by like if you were expecting, Dawn War to be like Kingdom, like you're gonna be let that. If you've never seen any of these movies, right? If I was gonna recommend them to a new person, I'd say if you just want like an action movie, if you don't want a slow pace, I'd watch Rise,
Yeah.
read a summary on Dawn and War, and then watch Kingdom.
Yeah. I'd agree. I'd agree. I really like what 2 and 3 are, but if you're looking for just a fun popcorn action flick with good moments, it's 1 and 4.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean 2 and 3 don't need to exist. I'm glad they do, but they don't need to. I mean 4 doesn't really need to exist, but 4 is a nice look into like where things are heading. Like after 1. Like you could like we said at the start of this, you could watch 1 and then you could watch 4 and you could go 1 4 1968 movie and be like, yeah, I got it.
I
That's
get it.
that's it.
Yeah,
I got the whole thing. And if you want more meat, if you want a little more, like, hey, Caesar, what all did he get down with though? 2 and 3 are like the Star Wars prequels. Better movies, but they're kind of like that. Like, do you want to know what Darth Vader was like when he was a kid and how he used to race cars or used to race TIE fighters? No,
what's the
pod
metaphor
racing.
here?
Jesus.
Like, is Caesar supposed to be like kind of like an Animal Farm sort of situation and represents a historical political figure of some kind?
I don't know. I mean, because like they call him Caesar, but he's not really. He he doesn't like he doesn't do things like Caesar, like the historical Caesar. So I don't know.
See what ChatGPT says. Maybe I'm cheating on the podcast, but I'm interested.
That's you're admitting it though, so some people would just say they thought this. They're just like, actually, now that I think about it, I mean, I assume he's truly like the best version of somebody though. Like he seems like an impossible character actually. He's
Mo
Caesar, but for some reason he's Jesus.
Moses,
Moses.
the liberator, probably the strongest parallel. Moses led his
Oh,
people, the Israelites, out of slavery into a promised land, just as Caesar leads his apes to freedom and a safe new home. In War of the
mm-hmm.
Planet of the Apes, Caesar literally guides his people through a desert wilderness to an oasis, a direct echo to the Exodus story. Like Moses, Caesar never enters the promised land himself, and he dies before his people reach it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's fair.
I
Jesus is
mean that
another one, the
is.
martyr. Julius Caesar, the
Mm-hmm.
namesake.
No, I'd say Moses is probably the best one. Yeah, that's yeah. And like you don't need that. You do not need for the grand scheme of Planet of the Apes series why Caesar needs to be Moses. But if you want to, 2 decent movies to see like an artsy little way of doing it. You know
It's
what I
just
mean?
so
Where I feel like the Star Wars prequels don't nail it. At least the Planet of the Apes ones do.
it's just so common with animal movies. It's meant to be a metaphor for something or
Oh,
somebody else,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder if Matt Reeves had that in mind, or any of the directors had that in mind whenever they, or maybe it's hence even maybe like the original
Yeah.
films. I'm not sure if there's multiple in the
Films, there's multiple. I mean, there's the main one, but there's like 2 or 3 that follow it.
right.
But like movies were different back then.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue it's probably influenced by it,
Oh
um,
yeah.
in some way, right? Like they can make him whoever they want, and that's kind of like the director's choice on what they want Caesar to be.
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, they've already done that. So it's just what do Caesar's follow? Like if this series continues, you'd assume they'd keep using Caesar's name to be the reason for something, but like where do we go with that?
Right.
What do we do now? I just I looked it up. They're planning to put one out in 2027, and I'm just like, do we skip another generation? Do we have the future of Noah? Is Noah the new? I mean, his name is Noah.
Right.
Noah's Ark. I mean, think about it this way: in the original Planet of the Apes, they talk kind of like that the humans like killed themselves, like nuked themselves. So if there's like a nuclear holocaust, is Noah gonna like get the surviving apes on his fucking ark, whatever that may be, and save them? Is that where the story is going? I don't know.
But there's also like remnants, and like I said, it's been a while since I watched the fourth one, but based on what you said, it sounds like there's a bit of a human revival going on here, right? Because you have
Seems
Nova,
like it.
who seemingly is
May.
unaffected by the disease, and there are other humans involved too, right? So maybe you now have, more what the original movie was about would be like apes and humans collaborating, right? Living, which is really truly the spirit of what Caesar's vision was, right? Like apes don't kill apes, and we collaborate with humans.
Well, there's an interesting scene at the end of the fourth movie because if you remember the end, they go inside the other side of the vault and they get all the shit and they open the gate because they're gonna
Right.
blow up the dam and sink it. And it's May Nova May. She decides like, sorry Noah, but I can't let you monkeys like Noah's like, don't blow this place up. And she's like, I have to do this as a person. And like, that's how she leaves that scene as like the person who like killed a bunch of these monkeys and left. And then the movie ends with Noah and the rest of the Eagle crew heading back home. And May shows up there and they're talking about like if people and monkeys could ever coexist or something. And the whole time they're talking, it shows like the wind blow and May's holding like a gun, like a loaded gun ready to go behind her back. And it's just like, ooh, even in these like nice moments between these two, there's like this subtle hint of like people will never be able to trust apes and like people need to take the planet back.
Right.
And I think that's going to lead to some crazy shit in the next 2 movies. I am looking forward to more of these movies. I'm so glad I've watched them all. They're not what we expected, but I'm into them. I'm into them. I've
Yeah.
been thinking about them a lot over the course of the past couple days, especially the third one. There's a lot of good moments. A lot of good moments in
I think
that
I
third
need to,
movie.
now that I know what
Yeah.
to expect,
Yeah.
I'd give them a second shot. Like I'd almost want to watch
Sometimes
the
a second
original
watch
ones.
helps.
I almost want
Yeah.
to watch like the original ones, and then maybe just sit down and just rewatch them all, or bits and pieces. Now that I know what to expect and what to look for, right? I'm not
Yeah,
expecting
what
it to
kind of
be
movies
something
these
else.
movies are. Yeah, they're not if you're thinking like Lord of the Rings battles with monkeys with horses and guns, you're sorely mistaken, but
You get just enough of it for a
you
trailer
get a
or a
little,
cover.
yeah, and you still get some really good movies regardless.
Would you
I think
recommend
I would I
final
recommend.
final take on the series?
I would
holistically.
recommend. I had a really fun time, and I think there's more good than there is like not good to at least have a good time. Go into the second and third knowing that they're not movies about monkeys killing people or like taking the world over. They're not, but
Yeah.
they're pretty goddamn good. I'd say absolutely 100% watch 1 and 4. Watch 1. Absolutely 100% watch 1. If you want any like more like that, watch 4. And if you want a little deeper, a little I got to give the second this credit, man. We watched it late and stayed up through it all.
Right.
If anything, it still kept us interested. It's the least memorable of these movies, but there's still some good shit in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's great characters. I mean, for monkeys speaking fucking sign language the whole time, basically. That's one thing I liked about the fourth is it showed that enough time passed that monkeys talk now. And I'm like, yes, monkeys, they do it sometimes, the sign language, but they fucking talk. Lots of sign language in those other movies, which is fine, but they pick and choose when they want to show us subtitles. And I'm like, that's bullshit.
How'd they learn sign language in the first place?
I think James Franco taught Caesar, and then Caesar
Okay.
just
Yeah.
fucking Caesar taught sign language to a lot of them, but Maurice also knew sign language because he was a circus chimp or orangutan or something.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
the pieces were there.
yeah, like he had to learn to talk to them. So like that's how him and Caesar start communicating. Like, here's the thing: a lot of the problems we had with the second movie, I feel like wouldn't have been there had we just paid attention to the first movie.
Right.
So many like things that kind of we got in our own way about because we were just like we did not pay attention to this first movie at all. We're basing it on a movie we both watched a few years ago.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna, I'm really as we're doing this podcast, and like since in doing Fight Club, I kind of learned from it. Like if we're gonna do this and be prepared to talk about it, you really need to be like sitting close. You know, and I'm like a notes guy, right? So like writing down things, right? So you can
So
like
I
really
rewatched one. I was like, if I'm gonna talk about one, I got to rewatch it, and I'm so
pick
glad
up
I
on the
did
themes.
because
Yeah,
it's like it's probably of the four, it's probably my favorite one, like all around. Like I like the shit 2 and 3 go into, but as just a flick, as like I said, the perfect reboot type of movie, origin story, it's pretty solid, man. You feel a lot throughout it. So I would absolutely recommend the first one. If you want to watch a fun movie and you know anything about the Planet of the Apes, even if you don't know anything about the Planet of the Apes, this is a good movie to watch.
yeah, I'd agree with that. It hooked me enough
Yeah,
so that I watched this years ago, and enough so that it made me want to watch them all.
yeah. And I mean, I watched the first movie when it came out, liked it. These other movies came out and I just didn't watch them, but I've been wanting to watch them. Like that first movie was so good. I had such faith that and I heard the next two were great. So I was like, man, I can't wait. And I still didn't watch them. And now I have. And I would say, as like films, as like pretty solid character study type of films, they're pretty fucking good. But not everybody's in the mood for one of those things when they're like, I want to watch a science fiction movie about apes ruling the planet.
Right.
It's a little heavy. So I wouldn't recommend 2 and 3 right away. But I'd say if you liked 1 and 4, see if give 2 and 3 a chance. They're good if that's the kind of movie you're in for.
And the type of movies that you're not going to feel like totally lost watching them. Like it'll just provide more context. Like you could get something out of watching 1 and 4, like as we did, right? You can watch 1 and you can watch 4 and you can get it. Which I think is something to be said about both of them because they're so far apart and they're filmed by different directors. They're under different directors, right?
Yeah.
Really, I think it's a testament of the fourth film to say like, yeah, it connected so well with the original. But yeah, if you want deeper context and you're maybe more of like a more serious moviegoer, then yeah, 2 and 3
Yeah.
are going to give you that. But if you want a quick and dirty monkey movie, like go 1, go 4.
Yeah. The third movie, the more I think about the third movie, like if it wasn't monkeys, and I think it's actually to me personally, because it's monkeys, it makes it better. But it's a very like, oh my god, why am I blanking on the I keep wanting to say Schindler's List, not Schindler's List, fucking oh, that's Stephen King Stand By Me. Is it Stand By Me? Fuck.
Not
Where they
sure.
break out of prison? Where they break out of prison? Oh my god, I'm hating myself for this. It's that. It's that movie, but with Planet of the Apes, and it's pretty good for it. Like I think it's like if you took this same story and made it like different types of people, you'd probably get an Academy nominated type of movie. But because it's apes, it's like an action, it's a sci-fi movie. It's a little lot less thought of like that, but like, damn, it's good. Damn, it's a good movie.
Sounds like you're getting more fond of 3 when we're sitting here
I
and
am
talking
more
about it.
fond of 3, like as a film, like as a film study film. But 1 was a blast. 1 was just fun. 1 was just a fun movie, man.
I'm interested in the message that they're trying to convey. You know, is it meant to showcase like religion and how it can be like distorted over
Yeah,
time?
definitely. It's definitely, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's religion. I think it's government. I think it's empires. I think it's just history in general.
Right.
It's just, and it's also showing like things are inevitable no matter who's in charge. Like there's no perfect version of society, no matter what we
Easy
do.
to blame because what societies have risen and fallen, right? Throughout
Always.
millennia of
Always.
people. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Yeah. I guess the argument is like it's not just people, it's any group of
Yeah.
intelligent beings,
Sentient
perhaps.
being. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's just, at least here on Earth, there's
Right.
just no version of this. And along that same situation, you're going to get people turning normal, ordinary humans or monkeys into deities or gods, or as history, you warp what they actually were to make them go beyond what they are, no matter who's in charge. That's what's going to happen, and that's just the way life works. I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of the messaging in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the
There's
next one go, right? That's the question. I
that's
guess we'll find out in
that is the
2027.
question. I mean, isn't that the question? After you kind of accept where this is going with 3, you're kind of just like, what is the end game here? Like I thought we were going to fight humans in 2 to fight humans to like take over the planet. Then I thought we were going to do it in 3. We've actually never done it. So when's it going to happen?
Based on what you're saying about the end of the 4th one, sounds like the next one.
And I'll be you know what, dude? I'll say it right now. I am now into this series now that I've watched them all and then rewatched some of them. I'll go to the theaters. I will see the next movie in theater. I want to know what I'm looking forward for the first trailer. Like I'm sure the first trailer will at least put me on like what the game plan is, cuz right now I'm just like could be anything, which is kind of how you feel at the end of every one of these movies. I think that's the beauty of them all. They really don't matter.
Right. Yeah.
But they are, but you're glad you watched them. I got
Wonder like
into a really fun series this week, you know, with
yeah.
cool characters,
And they're all apes,
and I'm
man. That's what
curious
makes it
where they're
interesting.
going. Yeah.
Would you like the series if they were people? Or does the fact that they're
No.
apes
No,
make
they
it
have
good?
yeah, they have to be apes. They have to I like watching how they change. I like watching how like in the second movie everyone's signing, that's how they communicate, they do their signs, and then by the third some of them are kind of talking. Like I like watching those things. Like that little attention to detail as they talk about evolution and show like how this race of sentient being monkey people become what they are. I like it. I know it's not for everybody, but I think I remember when the Mark Wahlberg version came out, I was like stupid. I was also like 10. But I don't know, I appreciate this kind of stuff now cuz it is like a what if? What if
Yeah, it definitely plays on
monkeys?
people's fascination with how closely monkeys look and act like people. You know, I think
Mhm.
that was probably like the basis of the film in 1968 to begin with, right? Like, hey, people see
For
these
sure.
monkeys and they're like, hey, they kind of look like us and act like this. That's kind of creepy. People would pay money to see a movie about this. Like, let's do that, right? It makes it different than just seeing like, because you could replace apes with like a minority group of some kind,
Hmm.
right? Or
Yeah.
aliens or whatever, right? But it seems like people's
Zombies.
right inherent fascination with this species that looks similar to us.
Yeah.
That's the catalyst for it, I think.
Yeah. And then they make it fun in these movies by like we said earlier, where it was like maybe the humans are the zombies in this one. Like that's such a fun.
Right.
It's a fun little
Right.
twist. It's an inner. It gives you a lot for movies about monkeys taking over the planet. It gives you a lot to think about.
No doubt.
A lot to think about. Yeah. Ah. And I wouldn't have kept watching them if I didn't like it. I'll tell you what, man. Like if I woke up at 5:30 this morning and started that fourth movie, I was like, I gotta see. I gotta
Damn.
know
I
where
thought you
it's
were just gonna
going.
watch it at
Like
work.
I watched some of it at work because I watched like some of it this morning. It's like I should get some of it out of the way, but I watched about an hour of it at work.
How are they? I wonder how they were rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think they're all like in the 80s critically. I think even 2 and 3 are in like the 90s critically. I could be wrong about that. But
So higher better, right? 90s is
yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So this is a bit ironic. The ones that we like the best,
Yeah.
the first and the fourth,
Yep.
are 82% and 81% Rotten
Yep.
Tomatoes. 2 and 3 are 91 and 94%.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, that is a critic lens. That is like the true critic lens of the. Like I said, as films, as a film, at least 3, it's better than 1 and 2. But 1 and to me, 1 is more fun to watch. And I mean, it's all art. It's all subjective. It's all what you're into. But
Right,
what I want, big picture for a movie, is the first movie.
right.
What I want when I'm feeling things is the third movie.
I think it just depends
What's
on
the
how
is there the audience score on those as well?
I've got Rotten Tomatoes, and then it also gives Metacritic has
Hmm.
ratings like math.
If you go onto the Rotten Tomatoes, it'll show like the critics, but it'll also show like how audiences recorded it, and sometimes it fluctuates. And I was curious if like the audience may have liked 1 and 4 more than they liked the 2 and 3. I guess I could probably also Google some of this. Where's my phone?
Audience score
Yeah.
77. I'll just listen
What's
in order.
that?
77, 88, 87, or 80, 77, 88, 84, 78.
Wow. So even audience wise,
Right,
we're the minority. Huh.
right,
That's interesting. By like a lot. Like I thought
right.
they'd at least all be close, but like the
Yeah,
first one, yeah,
10,
that's by like a
margin of
lot.
10 by the first one. Hmm.
Dang.
I
Hmm.
guess your niche of people who
Everybody's
want
different.
Planet of the Apes movies, like that's what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I think we should watch maybe the first 3. And maybe after watching those we'll be like, I can see they're more like 2 and 3 than 1 and 4 were.
I'd
Could be
want to do
that.
some
Could
research
be that.
behind like the director's takes on it. You know, what was their vision for it? Gives you more context,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that takes away some of the appeal of it, right? Or maybe it is art, right? So maybe you're supposed to just watch it yourself and figure that out. But I always like to maybe just have
Yeah.
some guidance on it,
Could
right? What
could
was
make
their
it better.
effort,
Could be like when you look at it through their lens, you're like, okay, yeah, actually, I see that.
right?
Yeah,
What were they
I
trying to
I'm sh-
achieve?
yeah. It is always interesting when you pass a series along directors. Like you take somebody else's story, other than the third one, because that was just him following himself. But like other than that, it's people just being like, all right, what am I gonna do with what they made?
Right.
and hope I don't step on any feet. The fourth
Yeah.
guy got very lucky because he was like, hundreds of years later, anything could happen.
Yeah. He's got
And it
creative
does.
freedom.
And it fucking, I mean, birds and eagles and different groups and echoes and there's a lot going on in that fourth one. But we've been there, done that.
Right. We did. It sounds like we got to get together in when the next one comes out.
For sure. Oh my god, definitely.
Mark
Yeah, we should see that. We should see that in theaters for sure. I'm in now, and and here's the thing though. Here's the thing that's kind of scary is as much as I love all these movies, like one bad one could break the whole thing. You know what I mean? It could drop the like if the next one comes out and it just goes somewhere completely in the wrong direction, it almost like sidelines everything. That's what kind of like some series are so good that like one bad one is like happens. But I feel like now if like a really bad one were to come out or like if the story went in some odd direction, I'd just be like, what are we doing here?
So you're the sort of guy that if the end's bad, it ruins the whole thing. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Right.
And I don't like to see that. Like sometimes things can end bad, and as long as the ending's badness has no correlation or connection to the rest of it. But sometimes, and I feel like with this one, it would have to. So it scares me. But I also don't care enough. So maybe it won't matter.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, if you were
But
deeply
I got
passionate
2 years
about
to
it,
stew on this.
you may care.
What if in the next 2 years I become like I watch the third one again, because I'm thinking about it, or we go and we watch these older movies. Like, what if in the next 2 years I become a big fan of the fucking Apes guy?
Yeah. We'll get you a poster. It's the bananas.
I want them all. Yeah. Yeah, you come over my house, I just have vines. I'm like, please don't step on the carpet. Just
Right.
I want you to swing to my furniture. No, I doubt that, but there's potential, man. There is potential. I've my fandom for things has grown so much in the past couple of years. There's room for more. There's room for more.
What's your favorite of the four?
Of
3?
the 4 movies?
Yeah.
God, that's what's tough. It's like 3 as like a film is good, but I think my favorite is still the first one. Like if I'm gonna pick one, gun to my head, you're like pick one you're gonna watch. I don't know why there'd be a gun to my head in that situation, but I would put the first one on because it's just it's easy. Of all of them, I feel like it's the one I can look at my phone the most during.
It stands alone.
Yeah.
4 was good. I liked 4. I dug 4.
I was good with 4. I don't know if it's my least favorite though.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'd have
wow.
to. That's the thing. I can tell you my favorite. I don't know how I'd rank them all, but I can tell you that one's probably my first go-to to watch.
I want to give 2 and 3 a second pass.
Yeah. Get a good sleep in and watch 2. Like don't go to bed with 2.
That's
Watch
where
have
this
a cup of
conversation
coffee.
has led me, right? Like talking to you about it and hearing about it. It sounds like I missed quite a bit on it. Like if I watch it, I want to, maybe not be halfway across the room and like be really just maybe turn
I
your
also want to
subtitles
watch
on,
it
be ready
again.
for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, fuck, dude. We thought Koba was fucking Caesar's son, which if we had just paid attention to the first, like, there's so many things that once I watched the first one, I was like, I would have never been confused about that in the second one at all had I known, had I been like refreshed on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you live and you learn, and I still enjoyed it. So it's the only one of the 3 movies that we didn't really talk about any of the like main human characters in, but that's fine.
We've learned that if we're going to do this, it's no nonsense. Like we're here to watch these movies. We're not here to mess around, right? Because
Yeah.
we would have got more out of
so.
it had we would have.
We would have. Yeah. We got in our own way there. Because like we had seen the first one. We were like, we know the Planet of the Apes movie. We know it.
Yeah. But for a deep dive, you want to be fresh.
Dude, if you, once again, another gun to my head, before we started the first movie, if you would have been like, who's Koba? I'd be like, I could not even begin to tell you anything about that monkey.
Right.
But had I actually watched that movie and then went into the second one, I'd be like, you gotta watch out for that guy. He's got like the Caesar drug 2.0 in him, and he's also like the evil monkey from the last movie. So keep an eye on him. He's certainly not his son.
Well, plus you know what to look for. Like you know that like Maurice, Luca, Koba are like major Rocket or like major players in the later films. So it's just like going back and like
Yes.
rewatching season 1 of a series that you like, right? Like you see things differently, you understand things differently. The meaning means more to you because you're not just watching it
Yes.
for the plot. You're watching it for what you know will happen later.
Yeah. Watching Caesar and Rocket become boys in one makes it make so much more sense. I was sad about Ash dying. I would have been even more sad had we paid attention. Been like, that's fucking Rocket's kid. No.
Right.
Like they're all monkeys and I care so much about them. That's something I can say about all the movies. They do a really good job of making you care about these characters that are monkeys that aren't even real.
I had a hard time telling them apart
Go
half the
team.
time.
Sometimes, but once I knew if it was a fast moving scene, but when they zoned in, when they wanted you to know who somebody was, I was like, Rocket, Luca, clear, Maurice, obvious.
Names and characters are not very clear to me in the first one. You know, I was more
Yeah.
focused on just like the strong human actors. I feel
Yeah.
like it's more subtle in the first, right? It kind of lays the breadcrumbs there, but
Yeah.
like had you
There's
known had you the first time you watched one, you probably wouldn't have noticed the character development as much, but yeah, you had the context of the other two movies to know like, oh yeah, like these are important characters later. You recognize them more and the breadcrumbs being laid in the
yeah.
first one.
I don't think an hour after watching the first movie back when it came out, I was like, Rocket. I know exactly who that is. But since I knew him really well from watching 2 and 3 solidly, I was like, Rocket,
Right.
Rocket.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when I rewatched a couple of early episodes of Game of Thrones and like I got much more out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Haven't watched the whole series.
Just another good thing, like any series, if it has great rewatchability, that says something. And I think all of these movies have pretty decent rewatchabilities.
Right.
I'm saying that only having rewatched 2 of them, but
But you
I've
would.
been thinking about 3 enough. I'd rewatch it. Yeah. And I think I'd also like to watch 2 upon a nice night of sleep and, energy.
Early in the
I
morning.
enjoyed it, even though I was tired as fuck. Who's to say? No, this was good. I think we've said everything we've needed to say about these
What more is
movies.
there to say?
I
Go watch them.
probably something, but like I think almost 2 hours of talking about 4 movies sums it up pretty nicely. If we didn't spoil anything, if you haven't watched them, or maybe this made you think about watching them, check them out. They're at
Yeah.
least you get a good start. Whether you like the
Sure.
rest of, yeah, I'm
Watch
glad
them
we did
watch them
this,
with
man.
friends.
Yeah, pay attention. That's
Or
what's important. Watch.
I'd recommend watching the original ones. Because you may get even more
Yeah,
out of them if you watch the original ones. There could be even more Easter eggs that we didn't pick up on.
for sure. We're really watching this in a very backwards type of Star Warsy type of way. Yeah.
But
When we
man,
find some time, we'll watch those first 3 or 4. That might be tougher because older movies are tougher, but
how many are there? Let's look it up
I
quick.
think there's either 3 or 4, not including the Mark Wahlberg one. We're not gonna watch that one.
Is that just a standalone one movie?
It's just a complete remake of the first movie,
Uh,
just in 2000. But we don't need to do that.
okay, Planet of the Apes, 1968.
Mm-hmm.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes, 1970. Escape from the Planet of the Apes, 1971.
Oh
Conquest of the
damn.
Planet of the Apes, 1972. Battle for the Planet of the
Jesus.
Apes 1973.
Oh my God.
Damn. There's a lot.
There he
Fi-
is. But I think they're shorter. Movies were shorter back then.
5 of them.
Fuck. That is a lot.
That's a lot.
But I'm interested.
Oh, and Caesar's in these ones too. There's a guy named Caesar in it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we need to sit down and watch these then.
Yeah, there's a lot more to this.
Isn't there always?
Hmm.
Yeah, dude. I didn't really say this, but I kind of decked out I'm wearing my Sasquatch shirt because it was the closest thing I had to having like a gorilla or a monkey for this episode. And then for the videos, I usually put like a toy up. I didn't have any like monkeys, but I was like, Goku turns into a monkey, so like that's close.
Close enough,
That's
right?
close enough, man. Yeah.
I'd like
Try to get
I'd
as
like
monkey
future
theme as I
movies
could get.
like I know we're trying to wrap it, but like Maurice was like the only diversity that I saw in monkeys. You know, I feel like there could have been there's a lot of different types of monkeys. I mean, there's like chimpanzees, there's lemurs, there's all different
Yeah.
in the primate realm, right? I'd like to see some more diversity here, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not really familiar with what exactly an ape is versus others, right? But for Maurice to be the only type of like different looking ape,
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that.
Mhm.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. Because like they do it, but there's just not enough of them. Like it's like one Maurice for every 30 that look like Caesar, and then
Yeah.
there's Ki- the big gorilla, the gorilla. What the fuck? Luca. So like when he's around, you like he's such a big difference. But once again, there's only like a few of him in a scene at a time. It's just like, yeah, a little more. I think the fourth one tries to give each one like enough of a distinct face that it kind of helps, but it's still like hard in big scenes to figure out who is who if they don't have like a special article of clothing or are a different gorilla or monkey or ape in general.
Yeah, like Donkey, right? He's another gorilla that comes to mind, but it's still
Yeah.
very, very like one type. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
see more of that in the future one.
A little more diversity, Planet of the Apes movies.
Right.
Come on. Spending all that money on these effects, you might as well make us notice the difference between them. We'll see though. Because it seemed like, we're really going back into it, but like it seemed like in a way there was some sort of like monkey segregation. I mean, Noah's whole crew are just like monkey people, and when they come in contact with the ape, like the gorilla apes, they're like the evil ones. So it's like there's some sort of like the races aren't together at least type of deal going on, I'd say. Like there's no gorillas in Noah's tribe. It's all just the Caesar looking monkeys. I don't know.
It's like making like
I don't want to
Eastern
get too
European.
into that.
It's like making
Yeah.
like Eastern
Because
Europeans bad guys in action movies.
I assume they're all still in California, but that is also unclear. So I don't know. They leave enough out that they don't even tell you how long it's been. They're just like, it's been a few generations.
Yeah,
What
figure
does
it
that
out.
mean? Is it 300 years or is it like 100 years? Would be at least a few generations. So
Right.
they know what they're doing. They give you just enough. You shouldn't ask too much of this series, but you might get more than you think.
Right. I think that's it, man.
I think that has to be it. I think that
Yeah.
has to be it. Not bad. I didn't think we could possibly go for 2 hours on it, but we certainly
Sure
did. I don't
did.
even think yeah. Cool. Well, Ern, thank you for recommending this. I
Sure.
always love getting like these episodes that I didn't have planned recorded and like in the bank, and this was a fun one, especially because I've been putting off these. When I saw that 3 came out in 2017, I was just like, fuck. Like sometimes movies you're like, I'll get to it, and you don't realize just how much time has really passed that you're like, am I ever gonna get to this already? So I'm glad I did.
Well, fortunately, Kingdom just came out last year, so we're not too far behind
Yeah,
the 8 ball.
right. But there was a moment, fun little story. Miranda and I actually bought tickets to go see the fourth one in theaters. We sat down in the theater and then we bailed. We left. We went because we thought we were going to see Mad Max. And I got there and the guy was like, this movie doesn't come out till next week. And I was like, oh, well, what else is playing? And he said The Planet of the Apes. And I heard enough good things about it that I was like, let's try it. And then we sat down and Maria was like, could we just go home? And I was like, yeah. So
I'm
we
not feeling
bailed.
this. Yeah.
We paid for tickets. We paid for some box office, but we didn't watch it.
Damn.
But I'm glad I did now.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. That's it. That's my story for the night. Something I bailed on eventually became something I really enjoyed. Isn't that life sometimes?
Right. Well, you probably wouldn't have appreciated it at that time anyway because you weren't invested.
No.
Right?
Certainly. No. It was reluctantly we even bought the tickets.
You
Yeah.
were thinking about leaving.
I might have not have enjoyed it at all. You know what I mean? I think I would have been really lost at the beginning through most of it. I really do. Because I didn't remember 1 enough and I hadn't seen 2 or 3. Life works in certain ways. And I'm glad it worked out in this way.
Till 2027 and the 5th movie. Or until we watch all the old ones. That could be a whole nother episode. Yeah. Watch the 5 OG ones. And do
could
that.
Change our could change our whole opinion on everything. Yeah, right. We should definitely do that. I don't know when, but we should certainly do that. I'm interested
to becoming, right? Watch the 5 late 60s, early 70s films and then connect the 2.
Mm-hmm.
See where that takes.
Yeah. Oh, I think that could take us at least another 2 hours. All right. Well, shitters, thanks for joining us on this ape-filled episode of Nerd Shit in the Dark. Apes Together Strong.
Apes Together
Let's
Strong.
not forget that. Apes Together Strong. That is the most important message of all of these movies. Apes Together Strong.
If you got nothing out of any of the movies, you should know that.
Get that for sure. Absolutely. That's the fucking Katniss Everdeen. That's the fucking other cool one-liners that movies have. Apes Together Strong.
Doesn't even get to that sooner.
Speaking of Apes Together Strong, I got my son. He just ran in here. He's crawling into the bed. I think he's trying to tell me something. So good night. Sleep tight. Do not let the shit bugs bite.